thrilling finish out in the desert, chasing a point after a fifth Cameron Dicker kick. It's Kyler Murray dumping one off to James Conner, and well, he's going to get into field goal range and making that quite a reasonable kick for Chad Ryland. Game on the line. Couple of ticks remaining. Split them from 32. Ryland makes it a winner, 17-15. Your final. Emory Hunt, Douzable, Joe Musso still doing it. Gentlemen, this was not the picture on the scorecard night we had in our early game, but it was interesting to watch these two coaches sort of check at the table until one had to make a move. I'm not sure where to start with this one, but my biggest question is the game management on the offensive side for the Chargers. I mean, we're looking at 64 total plays, only 22 runs. Lige, this was very much not in the ilk of what we expect from them.
Correct. And we talked about this pregame when it comes to Justin Herbert. He was coming off one of his better games where he threw for over 230 yards. I believe he eclipsed 340.
349 on 39 attempts.
Which you wouldn't think in a Jim Harbaugh offense you would see that, especially with the Cardinals struggling against the run. But kudos to the Cardinals defensive front and their linebackers. They did a really good job bottling up J.K. Dobbins. And we talked about it. It would be game plan based on what the defense is giving you. Well, they felt like they had an opportunity to throw the ball down the field. Will Dissly was big for the Chargers today, so I don't fault them for having that much discrepancy between the run and the pass, because obviously it was working. They just kept stalling out in the red zone, and that's how you lose games. If you don't score 6 in the red zone and you're forced to kick 3, you keep another team in the game, and that's exactly what happened this game.
Emory, you are my glass half full silver lining guy, so maybe I need you to go there right now. LA's pass-heavy game script here. Is it good to see that ability, but did it cost them the game?
You know what cost them the game, to be completely honest, Joe and Leger? I thought Herbert played great, but there were 3 opportunities in this ball game where he could have taken off and gotten the first down. And what that would have done, open up J.K. Dobbins to have success running the football. And this was a situation where he didn't take off and use his athleticism. He ended up taking a sack, which forced him now to punt or maybe kick a field goal. That play right there was one of the bigger plays of the game, turned the tide. And it's funny because we came in talking about the Chargers' red zone defense, but in actuality, it was the Cardinals' red zone defense that looked like the Chargers and shut them down. But because they couldn't lean on their run game, this was a game where they needed Justin Herbert to throw a little bit more, but I felt like there were opportunities for him to take off and use his athleticism, and just the threat of him doing that would have opened things up for J.K. Dobbins, and I think that's where they lost tonight.
On the other side, Kyler Murray orchestrates his 12th career game-winning drive, got down into the range, and it was a field goal, almost the poetry in this game. 5 field goals on one side, but it's a kick from the other side that decides it. You know, we're always looking for the storyline here. Emory, we were also pregame looking at this division out west. Very much alive now with a 3rd win and not knowing what else is out there with a dinged-up L.A. team, a San Francisco squad dealing with their own rash of injuries right now as well. Seattle not sure what to make of them. How meaningful was this win for Arizona?
This was huge because if you're the Cardinals, you're like, hey, we beat San Francisco, and we like our chances against Seattle. And we think we can go toe-to-toe with the Rams. They beat the Rams, I believe, right? So when you look at how they won this ball game, it was that play right there. Kyler Murray doing what needed to be done to get outside of contain and make a house call with his legs. Didn't have the best passing numbers, didn't have the best passing night. It's a little bit erratic, a little bit hot and cold, but when he decided to take off, he scrambled, he bought time, which then we talked about this all throughout the evening, opened things up for the run game for the Arizona Cardinals and James Conner, who went over 100 yards rushing. So I thought Kyler Murray played like a Kyler Murray game. You know, hey, if one thing is not working, I'm going to go to my second thing. And I'm going to keep working my passing game until it starts to get in gear. And it got into gear when it needed it the most, but I thought this was a solid game. Good win for Arizona overall.
Certainly.
This was a massive game for Arizona. To your point, Moose, when you look at San Francisco dealing with all the injuries they have, will Christian McCaffrey ever actually come back? Maybe around November, we'll see what the future holds for that. You talk about the Rams being beat up in their own right. Receivers hurt on that team. Seattle's kind of been Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde when it comes to, yes, their offense can consistently put up points, but the defense gives it up as well. They're right in the thick of this thing. And to your point, Emory, they're 2-0 in the division, right? So they're looking at like, you know, everybody thinks we're a year away. It could be this year that we sneak into the playoffs. So really love what I saw from James Conner. It seemed like at the end of the game, he was kind of telling his coaching staff, put the games in my hand. I'm going to get us to the finish line. That big catch that we showed on the graphic, you made Deion Henley miss in the open field, and then also able to run the ball, right? The 4-minute offense, being able to run it down the field to get in field goal position, make sure Chargers use all their timeouts, and win the game. Coaches love that because that means your offensive line was more physical, your running back was more physical. It's a mentality that can propel you to more wins in the future.
How do you handle expectations is now going to be the key for Arizona.
Yep.
We didn't expect them to win this one.
Correct.
They got it done. Can you beat Washington State next week? That's going to be what we need to see from Arizona.
They have the Dolphins next week.
They have they better show up against the Dolphins.
We'll see what it looks like moving forward, but if you look at the grander scheme of the NFC, you're going to have to win a division if you want to get into those playoffs with what the North looks like. The East, South, and West, it's going to be a battle for the top of those divisions. Before we go here, fellas, I always like to leave on a positive note, but I got to ask the question here. Is there a growing concern right now for you with the way that Marvin Harrison Jr. is either being used or is ramping up? I mean, we're looking at 6 targets, 3 catches, 21 yards. This is supposed to be the piece that unlocks this and gives that confidence, that belief for the offense. What are you seeing right now?
I hate to be the body language guy, but that is starting to show itself in this for him.
Yeah.
But also, he has a legitimate gripe. We saw the double move he had where he was screaming down the field with no safety over top. Collar has to see him. But at the end of the day, you have to play your role, be your 1 of 11, and the body language is not going to be there. I'm not going to throw you the football if I see you're out there not doing what it takes to help the team win. You could tell a lot about a player about how well they play without the ball. And so if you're not doing your for the love of the game routes where you're clearing out patterns or blocking on a perimeter, that shows up on film, and that's not going to get your name or your number called.
To me, it's a combination of 2 things. One, him and Kyler are not on the same page. It seemed like after week 1, we had this discussion where he comes out and says, you know, I was open, I just didn't get the ball. And Kyler comes out and says, you know, it's not my job to force feed him the ball. You know, I'm going through my progressions in the offense. Then the next week he turns up, goes over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. It seemed like they were going to make a conservative effort today to get him the ball because I believe they got it to him early in the first quarter. And then after that, to your point, he looked like he was disinterested, right? Lazy coming out of some of his cuts. And a quarterback sees that. And if a quarterback feels like I can't trust you to be where you're supposed to be, then I'm not going to look your way. Yeah. So him and Kyler Murray need to get on the same page. But I'm with you. Body language means a lot on that field. That can be infectious in a bad way. He needs to correct some of that body language he has on the sideline.
We're seeing plenty of rookie pass catchers having their impact on different offenses across the league. Surprising that this is the one that's slow to start here in his career. Emory, Ligier, we appreciate you guys here weighing in on Game 2 of this Monday Nighter double dip as we take a look at some numbers out of it. How about a pass touchdown, a rush touchdown, and 50-plus rushing yards? Cam, action, and K1, a 12th occurrence here on Monday night.